They call it the Lenovo Legion 9i. Now this is the latest edition, the 7th gen with the i7-1260p CPU. And I'm excited to unbox it, check out if there's any new features, new designs in regards to the build, and then we'll get into the full review on the channel later. So make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on the full review when it comes out. So we'll be doing benchmarks on this thing, checking out the audio quality, battery life, color gamut range, all that good stuff. So pulling it out of the box, as you can see here, we have a nice cover that comes with it. It's kind of like a matte gray. This little yoga sleeve. Your pen can actually fit right there. That's pretty cool. So once we pull the pen out, I love that because a lot of times when a laptop comes with a pen, I was like, okay, now where am I going to put this thing? And if it doesn't slide into the computer, there's some computers that do that, but there's a lot that don't. I'm guessing this one doesn't. That slides in, so then you can keep it here instead of sliding to the computer, and you won't lose it. I'm notorious for losing pens. All right, let's go ahead and pull the charger block out here. So what we got going on. Maybe I shouldn't rip that. Maybe I should just open this. Slide it out like that. All right. Oh, I like that. All right. Good quality charger block. I like when companies take the time to brand their own charger blocks. There's a number of companies that are infamous for just grabbing random off-market like charger blocks. At least that's what it seems like. I'm not saying they do. It's just like they like ordered charger blocks from like just some random site where they have actually keep branding theirs, which I really like. So it's a 65 watt-hour charger block. Yep. Nice and small, on-the-go friendly. Digging that. And let's go ahead and get this thing unwrapped. Seems a little heavy, but we'll check it out once it gets out of the box. Maybe there's like some other stuff in here with it. I like this thing. Cool packaging. I like the very like up-recycled look. It's kind of like this like cardboard up-recycled material. I'm not saying it's recycled, but I like the look of that. It's really cool. Nice metallic as well. Let's go ahead and get the laptop out. Okay. Here's our pen right there in the box. All right. There we go. So we got our pen. Pull that out. And then slide it into our handy dandy carrying case. That is very thoughtful. I'm really digging this. This represents Lenovo's flagship on-the-go laptop. And so I love how they're really including some assets, resources, so to speak, that make that a really simple process. A small charger block, a nice on-the-go magnetized carrying case with a place for your pen. So great for the on-the-go artist. All right, let's keep moving forward here. Next, let's go ahead and get the plastic wrap off this thing. Very cool. Wow. They've really gone with this nice rounded edge this year. It has very much like the reminiscence of like a tablet design, that like nice rounded tablet edge. Man, that's really nice looking. So there is definitely some slight redesigns here. I actually have last year's Yoga 9i right here on the desk with me. So let's just kind of pull that one out real quick. This is my daily driver. I use this for all of my like business work and benchmarks and stuff like that. So it looks like it got slightly thicker, just ever so slightly thicker. But then let's check the size. And it looks like it's slightly longer, so we have that 14-inch screen. That is probably my biggest complaint with last year's model whenever I'm using it, is I feel pretty scrunched with the screen aspect ratio. And so this extra, half inch, I'm really looking forward to on this laptop. I think I'll enjoy that a lot more. This is a great laptop, but I always feel a little scrunched when I'm working on docs and different things with that 13-inch screen size. All right, now let's keep moving forward here. Like I said, I love how this laptop is put together. Nice rounded edges, no catchy edges. I feel like this laptop has become even more refined this year. So that's really exciting to see. Let's go ahead and check check out the ports. Looks like we have 2 USB Type-Cs on the left side, and then we have 1 USB Type-C on the right side, as well as a headphone jack and the power button to turn on the laptop. Now this laptop is charged via USB Type-C, so that's one area that you'll be removing one of your USB Type-C ports to charge the laptop, unless you're like plugging in an external monitor that has USB Type-C charging, which is always a great option, so you don't remove a port to do your charging. Plug it in, and then oftentimes monitors will also come with ports. So that would be a really cool like dock opportunity. You could have USB-C plugged into your laptop. It could not only be charging your laptop, but then you could use the monitor ports to then have ports into your computer. It'd be a really cool setup. All right, now let's go ahead and open and close the lid, see how easy that is with one hand. It's a pretty snug lid so far, it feels like, so it moves a tiny bit, but once you get it going, it still wants to kind of lift up a little bit. So very firm hinge. I like that it's a firm hinge because then it's not going to be floppy. It's going to be very, very stiff, which is nice. But just getting it open and closed, I think you may have to take some time to kind of, work that hinge in because it's pretty stiff. But honestly, I'm really okay with that. I don't mind, let's say I'm holding my laptop, just kind of opening it with 2 hands. Not a huge deal to me personally. Looks like they have a little legend here for us to see kind of what each of these buttons and features are, as well as our ports and connectivity. We can change the color mode here. I'm guessing that's for the screen. Vibe check, I guess that's the sound. Background blur, so you can quickly click that button when you're in a virtual call and it will blur out your background. That's pretty neat, actually. I like that. So for like all of a sudden somebody like walks into your background naked, you can just blur it and then you can't see them anymore. And then we also have our smart power switch, which basically allows you to switch between fan modes. I'm really liking that these on-the-go laptops are allowing us to click through the different power settings to have more performance or get better battery life and efficiency right here from the keyboard deck. I think that's fantastic. Of course, classic Yoga 9i, we have the large Bowers & Wilkins speaker here. Really great audio. That's one thing I enjoy about these laptops as well, is they have a great audio experience, they have great battery life, they have great performance control here right from the keyboard deck. It just has a lot of nice features that are very practical. I feel like a lot of times as creative professionals, we're looking for the right laptop, and we, come across gaming laptops because they have great performance, and there's a lot of features that personally I don't utilize, or should I say we don't utilize, because they're more gamer-focused features. I love that these laptops have specific features that really fit our use cases. We have a fingerprint reader built right into the keyboard deck, so obviously just tap there, laptop opens up, and you're off to the races. On the top bezel of the screen, of course, we have our manual cutoff switch for the webcam. Just slide that back and forth. Make sure you don't have any cyber spying happening on you. And that is a nice addition. Wow, check this out. Last year versus this year, look at the size of this trackpad. That is bonkers. I love how much larger that trackpad is. I mean, just look at that. They've really stepped it up with the trackpad. That's great. One thing I'm also noticing on this year's laptop is it looks as if we have some supporting speakers coming out here on the side, both sides of the laptop. So of course we have the big speaker along the top of the keyboard deck here on the hinge, but then we also have these, looks like supporting speakers to really create a nice immersive audio experience. So I'm really happy to see that they not only have given us a bigger screen, but they've also added a number of really key features to make this laptop stand out even more for creative professionals. We have a larger trackpad, we have the upgraded keyboard with those quick access keys that are all extremely useful that I could see myself using almost on the day-to-day, if not multiple times per day, depending on my, workflow for that specific day. So I'm liking this laptop already compared to last year from a build and feature standpoint before I even turn it on and test out that new 12th gen Intel CPU. So I got the laptop fired up and turned on. Now, one thing I noticed inside the setup was that we also have Windows Face ID. So you can sign in with either fingerprint, Windows Face ID, or of course the standard password, which is usually what I end up doing because I'm just a creature of habit. Now, as you can see, I click through the different power settings. I can go to super cooling mode where, you kick your fans on, keep the laptop as cool as possible. You can go into battery life mode, which obviously has low fan noise, low fan speed in order to not consume too much battery. You may have some warmer temperatures and you might not have as much performance. And then lastly, you can click into performance mode, which will have that balanced performance experience. Now, one thing I noticed in the Lenovo Vantage Center is I didn't have actually access to these different settings from the Vantage Center, which I thought was kind of odd. Now I do have like this performance boost setting where you can like set up intelligent boost gaming, but I haven't really played around much with that yet. So I'll look maybe into more of that once we get this full review in and I start benchmarking and all that. So if you want to learn more about that, definitely subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on the future full review of this laptop. Now, as we're looking at the laptop, of course, I love the 16:10 aspect ratio, as I've been talking about. And one neat hat tip that I didn't notice when I was actually doing the initial thoughts on this little handy dandy sleeve, it's actually made from recycled material. So getting a little eco-friendly on us here. I'm liking that. Doing some recycled material for their yoga series. Now, as I've been using the trackpad, I did notice that there's a little bit of like rattly kind of shakiness for the trackpad. Let me give you a quick sample of that before we do that full keyboard and trackpad test of the full review, but at least you can get a sample of it here. So there's just a little bit of like that shakiness when you tap it. And then here's like compared to last year's model. So it just feels slightly more secure last year than this year, just being totally honest. I mean, this is a much larger trackpad, so I understand maybe some of the dynamics of getting it to nestle in just right might be a little more difficult, but just for a very fair comparison between, this year and last year, I love the size and I'm willing to take that slight shakiness to get this full size trackpad all day long. And I don't think it's actually like a longevity concern or issue. Now, without further ado though, let's flip this laptop over, get the bottom cover pulled off, and check out if there's any sort of upgrade path with this laptop. So I was able to get the bottom cover off, which is quite literally no easy task, but it was able to come off, no issues, nothing broken, always good. And I noticed we have one exchangeable M.2 slot. Right now they have one of those mini M.2s in here, but as you can see, they have this brace, so you could pull that brace out and put a full-size M.2 if you would like. This laptop comes with 256 gigs of storage and 8 gigs of RAM. Now I was hoping that I can maybe like pull off the battery and get access to the RAM modules, but as I pulled the battery off, as you can see, there was nothing underneath that was swappable. So keep that in mind. This is a soldered to the motherboard RAM configuration. So whatever you order this laptop with is where you'll be staying. So if you're maybe a designer, I'd probably recommend trying to snag this thing with 16 gigs of RAM. If you're just doing casual web browsing, you're doing virtual meetings, or using this thing for business, 8 gigs of RAM will be plenty. But if you're going to be doing any creator tasks, 16 is really the sweet spot, in my personal opinion, to kick you off and get you started. We have a 75 watt-hour battery. I'm really excited to check the battery life results during the full review. So definitely, as I keep saying, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on that full review. Otherwise, links if this unboxing's given you enough to make a purchase, likes if this video has brought you some value, and subs if you don't want to miss out on that future upload. I'll see you guys here in the next one.